the president's attempt to cancel student loans is facing legal scrutiny. Leading the charge against the plan are Republican attorneys general from 11 states, with Kansas's top lawyer leading the effort. Kris Kobach is the Kansas Attorney General and joins us live. Mr. Attorney General, thanks for being with us here on the Hill. Appreciate it. So you led the fight, the legal fight, all the way up to the Supreme Court in round one. You planning to sue again here?
Yeah, we already have sued again. It was 6 states that went all the way to the Supreme Court in round one, and we prevailed in June of 2023, last summer. And now this is version 2.0 of the Biden student loan forgiveness plan, and it's equally illegal. Congress never authorized this. And of course, today he announced version 3.0 while we're challenging the second version, but all three are illegal. The Supreme Court clearly ruled that only Congress can do this, and there's nothing in federal statute that allows the president to do the first version. The second one is equally illegal, and we hope that the courts will enjoin this fairly quickly. You know, Congress can do this. Forgiving student loan debt is something people can debate about all day long, but it takes Congress to do it. An executive agency cannot do this unilaterally.
So what is the solution, right? There is a problem. I don't think you would find anyone who has a kid who is entering or is paying off a student loan, Mr. Attorney General, who wouldn't acknowledge that there is a problem. What is the solution?
Well, there's definitely a problem. And I say this as a parent who's trying to set aside and scrape for money to put into my college savings accounts of my children, 5 children. And college is extremely expensive and people can't afford it. But this is not the solution. Forcing taxpayers that include people who never went to college, people who couldn't afford to go to college, people who worked their way through college, or people like my family trying to save money in advance of the kids going to college. We shouldn't have to pay for those who took out a debt that they're having difficulty repaying years later. Indeed, you're transferring money from, on average, lower income Americans to higher income Americans. That's not the way to solve the problem. I think the way to solve the problem, as one of your panelists mentioned just a moment ago, is you have to look at the cost of college. You don't do things that inflate the cost of college. You need to start thinking about things that push down the cost of college. That's the core of the problem.
You know, you're from an agricultural state, obviously. I remember during the trade war with China, Donald Trump singled out farmers and made sure that $28 billion went their way. At the time, the criticism, and I see Brad Howard here shaking his head, at the time, the criticism was that is the government picking winners and losers. And I think you just heard my analogy on the FHA home loans, that is essentially could be the government picking winners and losers. Is this as wrong as maybe in the trade war, saying, you know what, farmers, you get money, but the other segment doesn't?
I think the difference in the analogy you're making there is that in the trade war, President Trump took actions that had an immediate impact on American agricultural producers because of his actions against China to equalize the situation, bring about fairer trade. It had a direct impact on the farmers, and so he was trying to compensate them for something the government did indirectly to them. This is a little different. These are borrowers who took on the loan, knowing full well that they were supposed to repay the loan, and so nobody did anything to them. And it's inappropriate for the government to come in and say, okay, you people over here who didn't go to college, you have to pay for those people who still have loan debt.
Do you believe that the president is trying to that this is just purely the election, essentially trying to buy votes during an election season?
You know, the timing is awfully suspicious. You know, as a lawyer, I'm just looking at whether he can do it, and he cannot do it under federal statute, and that's what we're sticking to in court. But I think, as your panel also pointed out, the timing is awfully suspicious, and the way he's touting it in these speeches, in these campaign rallies, suggests that he's using it as a campaign point.
All right, Kris Kobach, Attorney General from the state of Kansas. We'll leave it there. We appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.